It had been months since the outbreak began. The world had become a desolate wasteland, overrun by the undead. They had once been human, but now they roamed the streets, searching for their next meal. Survivors had banded together, forming communities in the hopes of increasing their chances of survival. One such community was led by a man named Jack. He was a tough and resourceful leader, and his group had managed to survive longer than most. But as the days wore on, their supplies began to dwindle, and tensions within the group began to rise. One night, as they huddled together in their makeshift shelter, they heard a sound outside. It was a low moaning, the kind that had become all too familiar. Jack and a few of his most trusted companions went outside to investigate. What they found was a group of zombies, slowly making their way towards their shelter. Jack and his group were outnumbered, but they fought fiercely, using everything they had to keep the undead at bay. In the chaos of the battle, one of Jack's closest friends was bitten. They knew what that meant. He would soon become one of the undead himself. Jack couldn't bring himself to kill his friend, so they tied him up and left him outside to turn. Days went by, and the infected man had become a zombie. But something was different about him. He seemed to retain some of his memories, and he was more agile and intelligent than the other zombies. Jack and his group soon realized that this was no ordinary zombie. It was a new breed, one that was evolving. As the days went by, more and more of these evolved zombies appeared. They were faster, stronger, and more cunning than the others. And they seemed to be working together, as if they were communicating with each other. Jack and his group were terrified. They had never seen anything like this before. They knew they had to find a way to stop the evolved zombies before it was too late. They set out on a dangerous mission to find the source of the evolution. It took them weeks, traveling through dangerous territory and fighting off hordes of zombies along the way. But finally, they found what they were looking for. It was a lab, hidden deep in the heart of the city. Inside, they found a group of scientists who had been working on a cure for the zombie virus. But something had gone terribly wrong, and the virus had mutated. The scientists were all dead, their bodies torn apart by the very creatures they had been trying to save. But Jack and his group found something else, a serum that seemed to reverse the effects of the evolution. They returned to their shelter, where they found that the evolved zombies had already made their way inside. It was a fierce battle, but Jack and his group managed to hold them off long enough to administer the serum. Slowly but surely, the evolved zombies began to revert back to their original state. Jack and his group had saved the day. But they knew that they couldn't let their guard down. The world was still a dangerous place, and they would have to keep fighting to survive.